Hey everyone, Kevin here, and welcome back to my channel. So, while I was recording the last couple of episodes, I got thinking about all those factors that have led teachers to flee the classroom again, and I kept coming back to one: classroom management. And yeah, I've talked so much about how even those with legendary abilities in it are struggling to manage their students nowadays. But what I feel like I missed in all those discussions is how honestly, classroom management just got old at a certain point. I always believed I had a pretty decent, I mean, not great, but decent classroom management ability. And likewise, believe that education should be available to everyone because it is the ultimate path to success. However, nothing teachers do now really work. No matter what we do, the kids don't listen anymore. Parents don't answer phone calls, and even when they do, 9 times out of 10, nothing changes for the better. You move a kid across the room so they stop talking to the friend next to them during class, and they'll just end up moving right back and ignoring you or just walk out of class entirely. I mean, you get the idea. Technology has taken over the classroom too, and it goes way beyond just cell phones to the point that is yet another struggle for teachers to police all technology usage during lessons that they're also trying to get through at the same time because of state testing mandates or whatever. We literally have the reality where educators are exhausted after being on all day, every day. And it's led to a lot of mistakes, apathy, and ultimately burnout because after so many years of trying to manage the unmanageable students on our rosters, getting the Sunday scaries every week, and being totally exhausted all the time. In my last few years, I genuinely spent some weeks writing referrals or whatever progressive discipline form they had us do that semester more than actually teaching the students. And what's worse is that nothing ever got done anyway. The kids just don't care anymore, and admin can't be bothered to mete out a suitable punishment either, so all the real management and work continually falls on the teacher. And as I said, that just got old. As the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's what is going on in education these days, since the kids are increasingly less and less interested in classes, no matter what we do to try and manage that situation. It actually leads teachers to be disingenuous too when other people ask us how our classes are going, and we end up saying things like, oh, most of the kids are good except for a few bad apples, even when everyone knows the majority of them are actually bad apples. And frankly, we also have the reality where educators have to always be the bad cop to get kids to listen or participate, regardless of how interesting the lesson may have been. Not to mention the constant vigilance of needing to watch all of the kids during full instruction to ensure there's no cheating or slacking off, everyone is actually helping during their group assignments, and preventing any violent or disruptive outbursts, which happen practically every single day. It almost seems like most students only respond now during times where teachers become visibly aggravated and have no choice but to listen to their educator. And then the teacher ends up needing to raise their voice or walk around the room continually to prove they're not only doing their job to their administrators, but also to spend the period being on top of every child possible because it's the only way they're going to pay attention. The best way to put classroom management these days, though, is that teachers have to perpetually run a tight ship just to keep it afloat. A task, mind you, that educators already do. The difference now is that with how bad students have become, even that is often not enough to rein them in and get them back on task to accomplish whatever they're supposed to be doing. So many kids today lack basic impulse control, can't self regulate, and flat out refuse to listen or comply with adult requests. Teaching is already a very stressful job, yeah, and it's become increasingly more difficult for teachers to deal or manage the last few years. Throw in the rising student violence and destruction of property that fills them with anxiety about being assaulted, along with parents not reinforcing expected behaviors at home, along with administrators also never having their back, rather choosing to blame teachers for somehow not doing enough. And you wind up with teachers burning out at ever increasing rates. Not all at once, mind you, but they get there as the atmosphere in the classrooms become more and more toxic. In the end, I probably spent, I don't know, 85 to 90% of my day convincing children that they are supposed to be in school to learn, not screw around, only to literally watch them sit there and stare off into space or scroll reels on their cell phone until I inevitably have to stop what I'm doing and take that away from them too. Managing hundreds of students every day got exhausting. Teachers make more minute by minute decisions than neurosurgeons and are the number one career in the world when it comes to burnout statistics. It doesn't take a genius to realize that the mental strain that places on your mind is devastating, and educators aren't given the comparable time to decompress and regain the necessary strength to function at such a level. Teachers went into the profession because they were altruistic and wanted to give students great opportunities to learn, not just about content, about life too. My freshman honors biology teacher just passed away. Rest in peace, Steve. But he was a model for all of this, and I wanted to bring it up. He could effortlessly make anyone smile and laugh. And even if we were having a bad day where the class was a little rowdier than we should have been, he could refocus us, get us on task, and we'd be able to work independently to finish whatever the assignment was. This humanistic method is the same way I approached teaching when I started, and I did my best to emulate people like him to make learning not only educational, but enjoyable too. But now, though, teachers rarely get to be that way with their kids, even at the AP level. Outside of one single class that was good most of the time and who I could have real down to earth and fun conversations with, my last year of teaching was hell, with most of the kids forcing me to be an asshole just to listen to basic instructions. It's why I lost my cool and cursed in class for the first and only time that year, and why I eventually stopped trying to talk over the kids and just, leaned against the whiteboard and waited for the kids to be quiet, even if it took half the class period. I was so tired of yelling and blowing out my voice every day, and that's not the teacher I wanted to be anyway. Frankly, it made me feel like the professional babysitter that everyone else seems to think we are by default now, which we aren't and never were designed to be. We become that because of parental lack of support, administrator apathy, and student misbehavior. To put a fine point on it, teachers don't get the chance to teach much anymore because of these problems. We spend almost all of our time dealing with behavioral problems rather than actually teaching. And managing classes like that for years on end was exhausting. And it just got old. Well, guys, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please consider liking and sharing. It helps tremendously, just like subscribing if you haven't yet either, so please do so. But for now, I've been Kevin, and I will see you in the next video.